So, what kinds of things make me stressed out are the amount of homework, and I would say all the essays and the reading assignments. I would say that would be the biggest factor in the stress. My child development 210 class, it stresses me out the most because it's an online class and there's a lot of work and it's due every 2 weeks, and it's really easy to get behind because you lose track of time and you're like, oh, I have another week, and then you realize that deadline is tomorrow and there is no way you're going to get that done.
I do constantly remind students that, the classes are, I always tell them they're not sprints, they're marathons in the sense that you got to pace yourself, right? Pacing, I think, is really important. In most of my classes, I try to suggest to students, okay, by a certain date, you ought to have this many pages read. I talk to students about planning, how they use their study time, how they read, not do it all at once. When they're reading a book, read in small chunks, but do it when you're really focused and well rested in the right place. And so doing things the right way can make carrying the load easier and help you to be well prepared and not overwhelmed. Do a little bit every day rather than waiting for things to build up and trying to do a lot in a short period of time.
I feel like finals right now are really stressful, and I know that because I've been like slacking on my homework and procrastinating and just putting it off towards the end, and I'm like, no, I'll have enough time. Oh, I can do it tomorrow. I have, all these other things to do. I need to do my laundry, I have clean checks, and there's just not enough hours in the day, and it seems like finals this year and this semester, they seem to have come up really fast, and the semester seems really short.
Students feel stressed if they think they've got no power to do or change a circumstance, like going into a test. I know I'm not really prepared. This is not going to go well. Stress, right? Or I've let things go. I'm behind. I've got so many things crushing in on me to do by a certain deadline. How am I going to get it all done? They're overwhelmed, right? So I associate stress with feelings of being overwhelmed and powerless, basically.
I feel like I'm stressed, and I know when I'm stressed is when I feel overwhelmed with the amount of workload that I have, and when I feel like there's not enough hours in the day.
Education isn't a bunch of crises that you meet, whether it's a test, an exam, a paper. Instead, your paper is an opportunity for you to grow and learn. And if you can learn to love that, it takes a lot of the stress out of education.
Some things that help me relax and not feel so stressed are I like to paint my nails. And so I will just, take an evening and paint my fingernails or my toenails just to kind of like treat myself. It's a nice way to take my mind off my homework and just kind of like zone out. I feel like that helps the best.
Well, I do think it's a good idea for students to think about how to reduce their stress, because I think people perform better and are happier when they have less stress. When I was finishing my master's degree, I had to take this very large comprehensive exam, 3 hours written exam, and I was really well prepared. But going into the exam, I misread the directions, and I realized after the exam that I hadn't followed the directions correctly, so I was really stressed. And we're waiting for the exam results, and I just, every day I'd come into work and tell my colleagues I really blew it, what's going to happen to me, and was really feeling overwhelmed and powerless. And I had a friend, and of course, she knew I was LDS, and we had we were friends and respectful of each other's religions. But one day I came in and I was moaning and groaning about how I'd blown it, and she said to me, "Dan, have you prayed?" And I was really kind of embarrassed because, I had a good Catholic reminding me, that prayer can really help. And I really do believe, that the Lord is not necessarily going to help you to pass your tests or necessarily, do well when you haven't prepared. But certainly the Lord can help to alleviate stress. So, yeah, give prayer a try.